Jeff from 2X Garage, Kyle from 2X Garage. Well, it's been a really long time since we've done any content on the big green machine, Kyle's 1968 Pontiac GTO. When we started this channel, we really started off with a lot of this. We've done a lot of upgrades, but as years gone on, we've done a myriad of things from my car, which is my Thunderbird, to a dragster, to trucks, a little bit here, Eddie's Chevelle, another Chevelle that's part of the shop. But you know what, guys? We're getting back on this. Kyle has decided to take a phased approach at doing a lot of upgrades with it. As you can see here, it's a Holley Sniper 2 kit, and this thing's already got Holley Sniper. But that's not what this video is about. We're kind of reintroducing this car back to the channel because we are going to do upgrades to this over a period of time. What we're going to do in this video is just kind of go over the car, reintroduce you to what it is, what's underneath the hood, and what our future plans are with that. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Kyle and let him kind of explain how long he's had the car and where it started off as.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So I've had the car since 2018, and it started off as a, I guess I would just describe it as a pretty stock 68 GTO, minus the fact that it did have a 455 that I would just describe as a almost stock 455. I mean, it did have a different cam in it. It had been rebuilt. It was 30 over at the time. You know, kind of had some cheap headers on it and stuff. So very, very stock, mild 455 that was in a 68 GTO. And yeah, that's where it started. You know, from an exterior standpoint, this thing looks like it did when I got it in 2018, maybe minus the wheels. So obviously we've done a lot to it since then, right? We've taken the motor out and we've completely gone through everything since then, and probably everything from front to back, right, on the underside, whether it be the suspension or the exhaust or the wheels or the brakes or, you know, shift kits. And I don't think there's anything we haven't touched.
Nothing that we haven't touched. And kind of funny is Kyle and I have known each other since we were about this tall. Guy behind the camera, Mad Dog, see him a lot of video. We've known him since this tall. We're still actually this tall on camera. But funny thing is, I'm a Mopar guy with a Ford. Kyle's a Pontiac guy, and if you got to give him crap in the comments, he's wearing a Ford shirt. But this is a true Vadero green GTO. It's got the his and her shifter. We'll show you that in a little bit. But Kyle is like me. Since we were little kids, we've never been able to leave anything alone, whether it be a dirt bike, a lawnmower, some old KZ 400 we found in a barn. We never stop. We always end up, you know, if we don't break it on purpose, we'll break it to upgrade it. But yeah, Kyle, I tell you what, let's show them what's underneath the hood of this bad boy, because the big green machine, it really does go. And it is a true GTO. It's not Le Mans. When he got this, we ran all the numbers on it. You know what, guys? It's slick. It's cool. It's the first muscle car. So let's find out what's underneath the hood.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, as you can see, that is definitely not a stock Pontiac 400 or a stock Pontiac 455. There's a guy right here who decided to, you know, one day call me up and say, hey, we're getting back into cars. I hadn't had anything at the time, and he had this GTO. So, of course, we took it apart. And over time, this is what you see. So, Kyle, what's been done to this Pontiac?
Yeah, this is really where it all started for the hacks. You know, the only thing that as I look in here and that I can say are, you know, original is, I guess it's the block and the crankshaft that's inside of there. So it still has the nodular iron crankshaft. And what I had read in a lot of the forums, and you know, you guys tell me if otherwise, but those nodular iron crankshafts would take a beating, you know, a licking and keep on ticking, as they say. So there was no real reason to replace that. We did hang on to that and keep that, but from there, everything changed. And you know, a lot of people, the Pontiacs were known to have weak, I guess the rod bolts would come loose at, you know, above, maybe above the 5,500 RPM kind of red line. And, you know, now those are gone. We have the Eagle forged rods in there. We have a roller cam setup. It's a comp cam roller setup. And really to put this package together, I work with Kaufmann. Kind of spec'd out this motor. So this has the high port heads. You know, we ordered them as a complete head. So, you know, it's got the Ferrara valves and I'm trying to remember what those were spec'd for lift wise, maybe up to 700. the Kaufmann that's in this now is we're lifting right up to about 600 on this. So yeah, this was a complete spec from Kaufmann. Has the Northwind intake that was port matched to the heads. On top of it all, we have this is the Holley base sniper. So we'll talk more about that sniper upgrade a little later. Yeah, with let's see, we got some Doug's headers in there, and you know, the other maybe still original. This pump, it's been rebuilt, and also the steering box has been rebuilt. It's also been upgraded for a little bit tighter steering. It's not. I think they can be upgraded to the 12:1 ratio. This is just a step below that 12:1. I think that 12:1 started sometime in the 80s. Don't quote me. But yeah, this isn't quite that tight. And knowing that it was still going to be mostly like a straight line car, not a steering or handling car, I wanted a little better than those, you know, 60 steering, but maybe not the absolute best, especially knowing it's just going to be skinnies up front. Don't maybe need that oversteer. So yeah, that's the engine in a nutshell. So as it is today, you know, obviously we had electric fans and a different radiator and stuff like that. So
the cool thing is we did do a video on this. This is not a Ram Air car, but we did end up making our own Ram Air. Took a piece of sheet metal. Kenny helped us do this, cut the hole, got it put in there, and made our own base out of another one. So it does actually function through the snorkels, which is actually really neat. I think this car is right at 11:1 compression.
Yeah, very close to 11:1.
And the neat part is when this car was built, Kyle had it broke in on a dyno. And the nice part about it is on a carburetor, not with this intake, and some small tube headers, this thing made pretty much right at 600 horse.
Right.
It hasn't been back on the dyno since then, but you know what, guys? There's always room for improvement on horsepower, and there's always room for improvement on torque. That's why he's wearing that Ford shirt. You know what? Let's check out the inside. All right, so as you can tell, it's pretty much a stock 1968 GTO interior. The one thing I do like about it, it's got the his and hers dual gate shifter. Kyle's got some really nice gauges in there. And he's got this classic radio that actually fits a stock radio hole in there, but it's also Bluetooth, AM, FM, and all that. Kyle, pretty much what did you do? Just clean this interior up?
That pretty much says it all. Yeah, so this is all very, very stock in here. Obviously, you see the sniper unit, but otherwise, this is 1968. The upholstery's been redone, right? But it is all the original interior parts in here. What you see here with this button, that's just our line lock, and the head unit is a Bluetooth unit. Where the cigarette lighter was, this is now a shift light. But it's very, you know, not noticeable. So that's why we placed it there. I didn't want it to be noticeable. The only other thing, you know, cool thing about this dual gauge shifter is, you know, when maybe your wife or your buddy who's a Ford guy is going to drive it, you just put this here because you don't want them, you know, trying to go through the gears. It's not safe for them. So that's what that's for. Otherwise, you just open that up and it's usable.
Says the guy wearing the Ford shirt.
All right, Kyle from Two Hacks Garage, and today we're going to talk about the underside of the 68 green machine. Let's just start at the front here, I guess, with the wheels. So these are a weld forged wheel, 15-inch, fitted with a, gosh, I'm trying to think of the name. It should say right on it. Mickey Thompson, that's what I was trying to think of. It's got Mickey Thompson in the back too, but kind of some skinnies in the front here. They are attached to the Global West suspension, so you'll see tubular upper, lower control arms, sway bars, everything that I could bolt on and replace. This is pretty much a full kit for that. And the brakes that go inside of those are the wheel woods for that. You'll see once we get to the back that we have converted those old drums to disc. And so these are the Viking dual coilover shocks to go with that. I don't remember exactly how the camber has changed with the Global West setup, but I know it is an improved handling and feel with their setup. So although it looks like still 1968, it doesn't quite drive like 1968. It drives a little bit better than 1968. As we come back a little further, we're going to see that the exhaust is this is a Flowmaster kit. So this is a 3-inch all the way back. We did add an H pipe. We have the Granatelli electric cutouts, and this is the Flowmaster American Thunder series. So I think that's Series 40. Don't quote me on that. I believe that's Series 40. Those go up and over the Mosier 12 bolt. Has Yukon 355 gear inside of that. Have the extra support girdle with that too, just for additional strength. Again, Vikings in the back, dual coil on that. Can adjust my ride height however I like that. So if I want it raised up a little bit or want to lower it down, just get that stance exactly the way that I want it. That's the nice thing about that. I think we walked past it already, but that's okay. We'll work our way back up. We did box the frame, and I don't remember exactly what year we did that. That was probably one of the earlier things that we did. We boxed the frame. So these are just pieces that you can buy kits. For example, ABC Performance, I believe, sells a kit that you can put in here. We, of course, just cut pieces and welded them in front and back, and kept some of the original pieces that were for that. So there's some things that run inside that channel. I think I see some wiring that's still going through there. Originally, the brake lines and probably fuel lines would have been in there, but they're no longer in there. We've attached those to the outside now. This crossmember bar, this is an ABC Performance bar. So when we boxed the frame, right, that old bar would have sat up there in that U channel. We had a need to go to a different setup, and this ABC bar worked perfect for that. We could put it right where we wanted it, weld the tabs onto the side of the now boxed frame, and have the support that we need for the Turbo 400 transmission. Also, we do have a safety loop on that. So that is I believe that's a UMI safety loop over our drive shaft. And the drive shaft that is a fabricated drive shaft. Of course, when we went to the Mosier 12 bolt, that has it's fitted with the larger U-joints, is it the 1350s, I believe? So I wanted 1350s all around, so had the drive shaft fabricated for that. And I'm trying to see, is there anything else? We still have the factory style fuel tank back here. Certainly it's been replaced at some time or another, as it is in pretty good shape.
All right, so now that you guys seen the car, reintroduced it, where are we going to go from here? Because Kyle and I always like to tinker with stuff and never leave anything alone, which makes us, go bald, not have any money, but we still have fun doing that.
We do.
So where are we going to go from this? Well, it's going to be probably a long-term project with this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it off to Kyle, kind of let him, talk about the little things we're going to do, along with possibly some of the larger things we're going to do.
Yeah, so I'm just going to jump right in. It's going to be a Ford 521.
Ford 521.
That's what this shirt's from. I'm a Ford guy that drives a Pontiac that wants Ford power.
So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to set the internet ablaze or YouTube ablaze or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to take the 521 cubic inch big block Ford out of my 68 Thunderbird. We're going to swap these engines just for fun, go to car shows, go to Cars and Coffees, just to see people's minds melt down and go from there. Actually, no, but that would be a really good idea to do that. But, kind of bring us back into reality. Hence, Kyle wearing a Ford shirt. Had to give him crap about that. And he's going to give me crap about that. At least Kenny behind the camera is wearing a Hearst shirt, which is, fitting. Mopar guy, Ford. Pontiac guy wearing a Ford shirt. At least Kenny's sticking to his guns and wearing a Hearst shirt. So Kyle, what are you going to do to the big green machine?
Yeah, and the grief is half the fun. But all joking aside, well, we have some smaller stuff that I want to tackle in the near term. Some of that is right here in front of me, one of those. So you see a different water pump here. This is a high flow water pump. So, you know, it looks the same from front, but the rear has that billet wheel that's supposed to spend a lot more water, you know, from especially at the lower RPM ranges. So that's something we're going to put on sooner than later. I also have a different radiator that's coming in. Currently, this is a 3-core aluminum, and we're going to go to a Wizard cooling radiator. So I want to get better cooling because I want to down the road maybe add some more power. So that's some of that longer term stuff, and that's actually why I have the Holley Super Sniper EFI right here. This is the Super Sniper 1250, which I think is good for, if you want to get this and start off with a naturally aspirated application up to, I don't know if it's 600 or 800, let's say somewhere in there. And then down the road, you maybe want to go to a forced induction application. You can do that with this one unit because this will also handle up to 1250 horsepower boosted. So the difference between this and, the biggest difference, I'm just going to say, there's other differences too as far as some of the accessories this has, but the biggest difference is that this has 8 100-pound injectors and that base Sniper has 4 100-pound injectors. So it's what we have on there now. It's pretty close to about all that it can handle. So we need a little more airflow, a little more fuel, and the Super Sniper is going to do that for us. So in addition to that, so longer term, from now until probably this winter, I want to start kind of collecting some parts. Half the fun in having a car, it's never really done. You need something to be looking forward to. And for
kind
me,
of like a house.
It really is. Well, that has a honeydew list. This is the want to do list. So a little more power, right? We want to add more power, and I'm thinking along the lines of forced induction. And with that comes some changes that would need to be made. Now, a lot of what I already have can be utilized, but there's certainly some things when going from a naturally aspirated induction to a forced induction that should be changed. And a lot of that we're going to get into more detail as we start doing the build. So probably from now until winter, because now's the time that I want to be driving the car. I want to enjoy it. So let's just collect some parts, get ready for a winter project. But that is kind of where I'm thinking on the longer term. Maybe start this winter and converting this to a forced induction setup. Still, I'll keep it all under the hood. So that should give you a good idea of what we're thinking this winter.
So there's a lot of little things with that. Kyle and I have been talking with Loon Performance, big Pontiac guys. There's a lot of little things that they offer to do some of this stuff. When you plan that out with forced induction or the cooling aspect or having serpentine belts, they have a lot of these little, I'm just going to call it automotive gadgets that they've designed that really work well, that makes it all work together very nicely. It's a lot stronger than other components out there, and it's a whole lot better in stock. So what we're going to do is, like Kyle said, collect parts, get parts in that make sense to put it on where we can do it at night, especially because it's hot outside, like that cooling system. I know Kyle, he ordered a belt tensioner we're going to put on here. Obviously, like that water pump. But we're just going to go through, over a period of time, since we're reintroducing the big green machine back to Two Hacks Garage, is just go over it little by little. And this winter, maybe the big green machine will be kind of come Puff the Magic Dragon in a good way. So with that, we're going to get to work. We got a little bit of cleanup to do. I know Kenny's behind that camera. We haven't seen him in a while. We're just going to hang out and have a good night. But with that, guys, big green machine's back. Pontiac power. What do you think, Kyle? We're going to kick its ass
Ford
or
power,
what?
too.
Yeah, and Ford power. So yeah, maybe that 521 will end up in there, but I doubt it. Till next time, guys. Later.